Trading support and resistance didn't really work for me until I understood what the lines actually were, how to draw them on properly, and why they were such good price points for potential trade opportunities. So that's what I'm going to be talking to you about in this video. If you're excited to learn, hit the thumbs up button before we get started. If you are new to this channel, then welcome to Trading Angel. My name's Caroline. I'm a trader and a trading coach, and on this channel, I try and help to make complicated subjects as easy to understand as possible. So if you're looking for a trading coach or you're looking for someone to explain these things to you in an easy to understand way, then make sure to subscribe so that you can stay up to date. So the reason why I didn't really understand support and resistance when I first started is because it all seemed a little bit ambiguous and confusing. It wasn't really clear what the lines were and how to draw them on properly. And every trader I listened to or read about had a different view on it. I also didn't really understand how I, as a brand new trader who didn't really know what they were doing, was able to draw on a line and expect that it was the same line as other traders were doing. Because obviously, if everyone's drawing on their support and resistance levels at different points, they are almost completely useless. The whole point in them is that we're all assuming that everyone is drawing them on in the same place. Otherwise, they don't really work. So I felt like when I was completely new, didn't know what I was doing, it seemed so ambiguous as to how to draw them on properly and get them right so that I was actually doing the whole thing right. So some traders will say go to the wick. Some people will say go to the body. Others will say it's got to have 2 touch points. Others will say 3. And it all just seems very confusing. And then the trades often look like they're happening in completely random places anyway. So you can draw on the levels and the market doesn't even go to them anyway. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a completely different way of thinking about it so that it actually makes sense. And there's a very clear way that you can put them on. So when we first start learning how to trade, everyone says, okay, resistance is like the ceiling, support is like the floor. So obviously support is below the market and resistance is above it. And you're looking for breaks and retests, and you're told all of this very ambiguous stuff, which doesn't really help you day to day, especially with drawing it on or understanding what's going on. A lot of the time, it also looks great in back testing, but it becomes quite difficult to actually use it practically day to day. So when I started to think about support and resistance as key levels rather than support and resistance, everything made a lot more sense to me. So they are somewhat the same thing. There are obviously some differences to them. But if you think about key levels as your price points rather than support and resistance, it makes more sense because the key levels are actual price points where something has actually happened at. And therefore, there is one way to draw them on, and it makes drawing them on and getting them the same as every other trader a lot easier. And also, because other traders are looking at these points, that is why they become really good places to look for trading activity. So in this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about some of the best key levels for the US 30, NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. That's because I'm a US 30 trader, so I trade the Dow Jones in the New York session, but from the UK. So all the times that I mention in this video are going to be UK time. But I'm going to be showing you some of the best key levels and some of the easiest to draw on and some of the most obvious ones, which can help you if you trade those markets as well. So first of all, the most obvious key level of all is the all-time high. So this one's really easy. You literally go to the top wick of the highest point that the market has ever reached. So here we go. This is the all-time high. You can go in really close and you can make it really accurate. Can you see? There we go. We want to put it there. I sometimes label it as just ATH, which stands for all-time high. That is the most obvious key level that there is. So other traders might say that this is resistance, but you can call it the all-time high as a key level. Makes it very obvious where it is. Now, the other one, which is really obvious, is the previous all-time high. And I'm going to show you how to draw that on. So I believe we have one over here. Can you see that at this point, so in November 2024, this was the highest point that the market had reached. So at this point, this would have been the all-time high. Again, other traders would have called it resistance, but you know what it means. It's the all-time high, the highest point the market's ever reached. The market has dropped from the all-time high, which often happens, and then it's come back up to this point. It's nearly hit it, but because this level has acted as resistance, the price has actually stayed below it. And whilst the market didn't quite hit or cross above it, we actually had another drop in the price at the all-time high. When the market comes back to this point again, can you see that we actually broke the all-time high, which makes this the new all-time high? The market broke it, reversed, came up, tested it again, and this is the point where it actually crossed above it. It did a break and a retest before carrying on. So this is very typical, standard technical analysis, which you would learn when you first start trading. But this level that was the all-time high at this point, even though it's been broken and it's no longer the all-time high, it's still a really strong key level. So I usually put a P in front of it, which stands for previous all-time high. The previous all-time high is such a strong level on the US 30 and also the other US indices. Even when it's been broken, you want to keep this up on your charts at all times. Can you see that when the market moved down from this all-time high here, it went down to the previous all-time high, it did a sweep, and then it came back up again. So identifying the all-time high and the previous all-time high and always marking them up are really important. If the market breaks above this point here, we might get a break, we might get a retest and a move back up, but I will still keep this level up here because it was the all-time high. I'd just add on a P at this point. So that would be the new previous all-time high. I'd also still keep this one up as well. So those are a couple really obvious ones. I'm going to go down to the 1 minute chart now as well and show you a few others. So a couple really good key levels for trading the US indices are yesterday's high and yesterday's low, and also London's high and London's low. So London is the previous session to New York. Obviously, if you're trading a different market, you'll be looking at the previous session for that market. But because we're looking at New York, we're looking at London. So to mark up yesterday, I use the vertical line tool and I just mark up the 24-hour period. As I live in the UK, that means we're going from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. So I will just mark up 5 a.m. and then I'll mark up 5 a.m. and that means I can just see really clearly the 24-hour period. Nearly, just about. There we go. And then I'll get the horizontal line tool and I will draw the high of this 24-hour period and I will draw the low. So this is yesterday's high and this is yesterday's low. And those are always really good key levels going into the next day. So that's just a very, very easy way to understand where we might have activity at. What sometimes happens is the market comes down and does a sweep of it before reversing, or it might come up, do a sweep of this and then reverse. But you also might, again, have a break and retest. But you want to be aware of where these levels are because then you know where you're looking for activity to happen at. And again, if you're looking at the previous session, you're looking at where the market moved in London, so before New York's opened. So New York hasn't opened yet on the day of filming, so I'm just going to mark up the highest point and the lowest point. Another really good one for the US 30 or NASDAQ or SPX is also the open of the day. So if you just go to 5 a.m., I actually move it across. So it will depend obviously what country you're in. If you're in the UK like me, it'll be 5 a.m. If you're in another country, it might be another one. So I've moved it to 4:59 because then I can see the 5 a.m. candle. And I'm going to draw a line where the market opened. So this is where the market opened on this day. And this is a really good key level for this market going on for the rest of the day. And because so many other traders use these points and look for activity to happen here, what's actually happening is they're putting orders here, or they're also looking for buys or for sells. And obviously when there's a lot of orders in one place, it triggers a bit of a movement at certain price points. And that is why key levels work. That's why everyone's looking at the same places. And now that you understand that they're actually related to very specific things rather than just randomly drawing lines on a chart because you see a certain amount of touch points, it becomes a lot easier to manage that. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a little thumbs up. And if you're looking for coaching, then you can email info@tradingangel.co.uk.